This is the 2021 Toyota Supra 2.0. Compared to the 3.0, it has 2 fewer cylinders, 127 less horsepower, and an exhaust note that doesn't sound so good when compared to the 6-cylinder Supra. I would say that this is about 2/3 of the Supra experience, but this is still a very good sports car. And that's really a testament to how awesome and nutty the 3-liter turbo Supra really is. I've had the privilege to be one of the first people in the United States to see it unveiled live and in person, and was fortunate enough to be one of the first few people to drive it as well. I've even sat next to the father of the Supra, Tetsuya Tada, for dinner one time, and we talked non-stop about this car. If you're interested to see and hear what I have to say about the 6-cylinder turbo Supra, click on the links up here and below. Now, I am in love with the 6-cylinder turbo Supra. It might be a BMW underneath a very sexy Toyota skin, and despite it not having a manual transmission available, once you start driving it, you quickly forget about all of those things because the driving experience is just so good. And you never, ever want to stop driving it. So knowing how fantastic the 3-liter turbo Supra really is, when Toyota dropped off the 2-liter turbo version off for me to test, I was ready to be disappointed. And after a week, I'm only slightly disappointed, and I'll share with you my personal likes and dislikes about this car so that you have a better idea before you go out and buy one. Right off the bat, the handling aspects of this car is almost the same as the 3.0. It has a very communicative chassis. Steering feedback is solid, very stable and maneuverable at high speeds. Still, it has ultra-sticky Michelin Pilot Super Sports tires as wide as the 3.0, but only in 18-inch size, so 255 in the front and 275 at the back. The difference here is that the suspension dampers are now fixed rather than adjustable, and also you have smaller brakes. And there's now a mechanical limited slip differential as opposed to an electronically controlled one. Now, these are all handling elements that you'll fully appreciate when you take it to the track or an autocross. On normal roads where you have speed limits and you have to behave yourself, the absence of all those extra doodads isn't readily apparent. However, you will feel the absence of the 2 cylinders because the 0 to 60 time in the 2.0 is in the low 5s, while the 3.0 is under 4 seconds. This 2.0 Supra is still quick, but that 3.0 Supra, that's a totally different animal. And when you do decide to break the speed limit, the acceleration in the 2.0 starts to feel underwhelming at higher speeds, whereas the 3.0 continues to feel nail-biting all the way from 0 to whenever you run out of courage or get arrested. So in reality, the benefits of the 3.0 Supra is really at the extremes. When you're daily driving the Supra, the 2.0 and 3.0 experience is relatively the same. In fact, this feels more comfortable because it has the smaller 18-inch wheels. So the tire sidewall has more flex and the ride isn't as jarring as the 3.0's 19-inch wheels. With that said, there is at least one disappointing thing about the 2.0, and that's the exhaust. When you press the sport mode in the 3.0, you're treated with magnificent pops and burbles out the back. There's an active exhaust system in the 2.0 and also the 3.0. But the difference is, in the 3.0, when you really step on it, the exhaust gives off such an aggressive snort at every upshift. And when you lift off the throttle, you're given such a musical experience that's so violent and addictive that you want to keep doing it over and over and over again until your neighbors file a complaint. With the 2.0's exhaust, no one's really going to complain about it aside from you, the driver. You still hear it once in a while, and especially if you're driving aggressively, but it's not as pronounced. I would say that the driving experience is not the same as the 3.0 just because you're missing that glorious exhaust. Aside from the obvious glaring differences between the 2.0 and 3.0, everything else is about the same. The interior quality materials feels more like a bargain BMW than a Toyota. Of course, you'll find old BMW switchgear inside, and I love the infotainment system in here. This is using BMW's iDrive, and I like using it in this Toyota. The placement of the dial and shortcut buttons is perfect. Other elements of the interior, like the digital instrument cluster, is beautiful to look at. And the HVAC controls and these soft touch preset buttons are all very nice. And I especially like how there's wireless Apple CarPlay in this car, and that's part of the safety and technology package that costs $3,500. The rest of the surfaces in the car also feels quite nice. The seats are covered in this black leather with black Alcantara inserts. There's a subtle red and gray stitching which is very tasteful, and the steering wheel and paddle shifters also feels fantastic. The 2.0 loses the motorized seating adjustments, and in its place you'll find some easily accessible levers. Now this might be a cost and weight saving move. Both weight and pricing are notable features of the 2.0 because this car is 220 pounds lighter than the 6-cylinder. It's also $8,000 cheaper, making this car a bit more attainable at $43,000. If you're shopping for a sports car, you're probably cross-shopping this against the cheaper Nissan Z or Ford Mustang GT or the Toyota and Subaru 86 platform. Go more expensive and you'll find the Audi TT and the Supra's BMW convertible twin, the Z4. The sports car market isn't as straightforward or cut and dry as the SUV and crossover market, so pricing is all over the place. What I do know for certain is that both the 2.0 and the 3.0 Supras are going to be in trouble once the Nissan 400Z comes out, whenever that may be. As for that well-known wind buffeting issue, if you don't know about it yet, the Supras are basically undrivable with the windows down between 30 to 50 miles per hour. Now that was a big problem in the 2020 Supras. For the 2021 Supra, that problem is still there, but it has shifted slightly. It occurs in the higher speeds. Now, that may be because I'm testing the 2021 Supra in this very crisp fall weather where the air temperature is a lot colder, and I was testing the 2020 version, which has the inline-six turbo, during the more humid summer times. So those results may vary because of those factors. Bottom line is that you should take these for a test drive with the windows down and see if you could live with it. So back to the title of this video, why you shouldn't ignore this slower and cheaper Toyota Supra. We don't drive 0 to 60 as fast as possible all the time. We don't take those off-ramps at 1G plus lateral loads all the time. And we don't drive these cars at wide open throttle all the time. Unless you're buying these cars as a dedicated track car or autocross car, these sports cars almost never live at those extremes. So if you're a rational person that still wants a sports car that handles very well, is still quite fast within the limits of the law, and one that doesn't look like anything else that's currently available for sale, then this Toyota Supra 2.0 is it. With that said, would I personally buy the Supra 2.0? But this is still a very good sports car. Well, there you have it. That's my review of the 2021 Toyota Supra 2.0. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've learned anything from this video, please consider hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, and also hitting that notification bell so that you can get notified anytime we make a new video. Let me wrap it up right there. My name is Hanson. This has been the 2021 Toyota Supra 2.0 in Nitro Yellow, and I'll see you next time.